So Ayesha Curry is trending right now, and not for a good reason. The internet is absolutely dragging her over some comments she made about Steph Curry once again. And baby, when I tell you the timeline is going crazy right now, before we dive into all this tea, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe because we're about to break down exactly what she said, why people are so upset, and honestly, what this means for one of the NBA's most famous couples. I need y'all in the comments too, because this one has people divided. Now listen, Ayesha and Steph have been relationship goals for a lot of people for years, but these recent comments, they got folks questioning everything. Ayesha Curry made some comments about Steph that have people feeling a certain way, and depending on who you ask, these comments were either completely innocent and relatable, or they were absolutely out of pocket. Now, without getting into the specific details that might get this video flagged, let me just say that her comments touched on their relationship dynamic, how she views Steph, and some personal feelings she's been having. The way she said it came across to a lot of people as either insecure, possessive, or just uncomfortable. And y'all know how the internet works. Once something like this drops, everybody's got an opinion. The quotes started spreading, the think pieces started rolling out, and suddenly everyone's a relationship expert with something to say about the Curry's marriage. The comments were made during an interview, and honestly, I think she thought she was just being real and vulnerable, like she probably thought people would relate to what she was saying. But instead, the internet said absolutely not and started pulling receipts on everything. What made it worse is that this isn't the first time Ayesha has made comments that got her dragged. Y'all remember a few years back when she had that whole moment about feeling like she doesn't get attention and men don't compliment her? Yeah, people are bringing all of that back up now. So let's break down why folks are so heated about this, because there's actually multiple angles to this drama. First off, a lot of people are saying that Ayesha keeps publicly airing out insecurities about her relationship with Steph, and it's getting old. Like, this is Steph Curry we're talking about, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, seems like a great father, by all accounts, treats his wife well, and she's still out here making comments that make it seem like there's major issues. People are saying it makes Steph look bad, even when he hasn't done anything wrong. Like, he's just out here hooping, being a good dude, and then his wife makes comments that have everyone side-eyeing their whole relationship. That's not fair to him, according to a lot of folks on the timeline. Then you got another group of people who think Ayesha comes across as ungrateful. Like, you're married to a man who's worth hundreds of millions, who by all appearances is faithful and present, who's given you a platform that's helped you build your own career, and you're still complaining? That doesn't sit right with a lot of people. There's also the gender dynamics at play here. Some people are pointing out that if a man was making these kinds of comments about his wife publicly, he'd be dragged into oblivion. So why should it be okay when a woman does it? That's the argument, at least. But here's where it gets even messier. Some people are bringing up the fact that Ayesha has benefited massively from being Steph Curry's wife. Her cooking shows, her restaurants, her book deals. A lot of people are saying she wouldn't have any of that if she wasn't married to him. So making negative comments about him publicly seems like biting the hand that feeds you. Now, on the flip side, there are people defending Ayesha. They're saying she's just being honest about the realities of marriage and that everyone has insecurities sometimes. They're saying we shouldn't expect her to be perfect just because she's married to a celebrity and that it's unfair to constantly criticize her for being human. Some folks are also pointing out that we don't know what goes on behind closed doors, and maybe there's context we're missing that would make her comments make more sense. The reactions to all this have been absolutely wild and honestly kind of split down different lines. You got the men on the timeline who are going in on Ayesha. They're saying this is why you have to be careful who you marry, that she's being disrespectful and that Steph deserves better. Some of them are getting real harsh with it too, saying things that probably go too far. Then you got women who are split. Some are defending her right to express herself and her feelings, saying that marriage is complicated and we shouldn't judge. But then you got other women who are saying that there's a time and place for everything, and national interviews aren't the place to air out your relationship issues. Basketball fans are especially heated because they feel like this distracts from Steph's legacy and what he's doing on the court. Like, we should be talking about his game and his impact on basketball, not his wife's comments about their marriage. Social media has been relentless with the memes and jokes. There's TikToks, there's tweets, there's Instagram posts. Everyone's got jokes about the situation. Some of them are funny, some of them are mean, and some of them are just straight up brutal. What's also happening is people are analyzing every interaction between Ayesha and Steph now. Old clips are being brought back, people are looking at their body language, folks are doing deep dives into their social media. It's a whole investigation happening in real time. And of course, there's always that group of people who think the whole thing is overblown and that we should just mind our business and let them live. They're asking why we're so invested in other people's relationships anyway. Okay, so let's zoom out for a second because there's some real things we need to talk about beyond just the drama. First, there's something to be said about the pressure that comes with being married to someone extremely famous and successful. That can't be easy. You're always going to be compared to them, you're always in their shadow to some extent, and you have to navigate building your own identity while being known primarily as someone's spouse. Ayesha has tried to build her own brand and career, and she has had some success with that. But the reality is, she'll always be Steph Curry's wife first in most people's eyes. That's gotta be frustrating sometimes, and maybe that comes through in these comments. There's also the question of what we expect from celebrity spouses. Should they just smile and support and never express any negative feelings publicly? Or should they be allowed to be real and honest, even if it's not always flattering? There's no easy answer to that, but I do think there's a difference between being honest about struggles in a thoughtful way versus making comments that seem to tear down your partner. It's all about how you frame it and the context in which you say it. The other thing is, and I hate to say this, but it's true, once the internet decides it doesn't like you, it's hard to come back from that. Ayesha has been on the wrong side of public opinion multiple times now, and each time makes it harder for people to give her grace the next time. What I hope comes from this is maybe some reflection on both sides. Maybe Ayesha needs to think about how she shares her feelings publicly and what impact that has. And maybe we all need to think about how quickly we rush to judge people's relationships when we don't know the full story. All right, y'all, so that's the situation with Ayesha Curry getting dragged over her comments about Steph. It's messy, people have strong opinions, and honestly, it's just another reminder that celebrity relationships are complicated. But I want to know what you think. Do you think Ayesha was out of line with her comments? Do you think people are being too harsh on her? Should celebrity spouses keep certain things private, or should they be allowed to be completely transparent? Drop your thoughts in the comments because I know y'all have opinions on this one. If you made it to the end, thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video, because you know there's always going to be more drama to talk about. Until next time, keep your relationship business off the internet if you can, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.